How does WWE's Roman Reigns stay in shape? Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer, have a nice day. For the WWZ family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. When Roman Reigns returned as the Tribal Chief in 2020, fans quickly noticed that his physique had drastically changed upon his character shift. After having wrestled in a vest for most of his career during his days in the Shield or as the Big Dog, Reigns has performed shirtless for the last 5 years, showcasing the hard work he's put into his fitness. At 40 years old, maintaining such a high level of conditioning is no easy task, but Reigns remains one of the most well-conditioned WWE stars on the roster, thanks to a dedicated health and fitness regimen. Reigns' transformation began during the COVID-19 pandemic, when he contemplated retiring from in-ring competition due to being at higher risk after a recent battle with leukemia. In order to reduce health risks and continue competing, Reigns committed to living a healthier lifestyle even if it's not always enjoyable. Although he's content with his current physical condition, Reigns has openly spoken about the challenges of maintaining it. In a TikTok video from October, he emphasized the discipline it takes to stay in shape. "You've got to be uncomfortable. Until you're used to it, this is what you've got to eat. There are no secrets, no shortcuts, eat clean, work hard, and get in shape," he said. In 2021, the OTC, our tribal chief, revealed some of his go-to breakfast foods, which include rice, oats, egg whites, and beets. His meals typically include lean proteins like chicken and steak, and occasionally bison. Though his diet is mostly clean, Reigns has admitted to indulging in the occasional cheat meal after major WWE events. He recalled celebrating his SummerSlam 2021 match with John Cena by treating himself to a hearty meal of 3 pizzas. Alongside his disciplined diet, Reigns follows a structured workout plan that targets all major muscle groups. He trains 5 days a week, focusing on different muscle groups each day. Mondays are for arms, Tuesdays for legs, Wednesdays for back and shoulders, Thursdays for arms and chest, and Fridays are reserved for full-body workouts. Saturdays and Sundays are recovery days to allow his body to rest and reset. In the lead-up to his WrestleMania 38 match against Brock Lesnar, Reigns shared more about his gym routine, highlighting the importance of fundamental exercises like compound lifts, deadlifts, and bent-over rows, which remain staples in his training. Reigns made his on-screen return this past Monday on WWE Raw after being off television since April, and once again appeared in peak physical form, reminding fans of his ongoing commitment to excellence. During WWE's Attitude Era, the company often leaned on edgy storytelling and spectacle. While some segments pushed boundaries, today's product has shifted focus significantly. In recent years, WWE has made notable efforts to elevate women's wrestling, placing a spotlight on athleticism and in-ring ability. This is a major contrast to earlier eras, such as the Divas era, when image and appeal often took precedence. Sable was one of the most notable names of that time, and played a prominent role in the era's entertainment-driven approach. Though her wrestling skills may not have matched those of some of her peers like Ivory or Jacqueline, she still had a significant presence and contributed to many memorable moments. Later, during the early Ruthless Aggression period, she had a brief return and helped pave the way for future stars in the division. Sable, S accolades might be few and far between when it comes to in-ring wrestling, but her quick rise from a valet to a champion to a trailblazer is a unique story nonetheless. Long before she became physically active in the ring, Sable made her WWF debut as the valet for Triple H, then known as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, at WrestleMania 12, during his match against the Ultimate Warrior. However, later that night, the two parted ways after Helmsley treated her poorly, which led to her then real-life husband, Mark Merrow, stepping in and aligning with her on screen. This marked the beginning of Sable managing Merrow, during which she rapidly gained popularity with fans. According to some reports, this popularity created tension in their on-screen partnership. However, in a 2013 interview, Merrow denied any real-life resentment and instead praised her success during a time he was sidelined due to injury. He clarified that the jealousy angle was just part of the storyline. Following the storyline split from Merrow, Sable was replaced by Jacqueline, which initiated her transition into in-ring competition. In a 1999 interview with the Ottawa Sun, Sable reflected on her early career in modeling for brands like L'Oreal, Guess, and Pepsi. She remarked on how different her path had turned out to be, saying, "I always wanted to be an entertainer, a singer, maybe a famous model, but I never dreamt I'd become a wrestler." Via People. Sable's first major feud in the WWF was with Luna Vachon. Tensions escalated during a 1998 episode of WWE Raw, where the two had to be separated by Marc Mero, Goldust, and security personnel after a heated confrontation. The rivalry culminated at WrestleMania 14, where Sable and Mero faced off against Vachon and Goldust in a mixed tag team match. Mero eventually aligned himself with Jacqueline, who became Sable's next major rival. The two faced off at Fully Loaded 1998 in a controversial segment labeled a bikini contest. The angle received widespread attention at the time. Later that year at Survivor Series, Sable defeated Jacqueline to win the WWF Women's Championship. Her title reign brought her significant mainstream exposure, including a high-profile magazine appearance. During this time, her character evolved from a fan favorite to a more self-centered persona. Behind the scenes, however, there were reported tensions. On a 1999 episode of Raw, Sable lost the Women's Championship to Deborah. Shortly after, Sable departed from the WWF and filed a $110 million lawsuit against the company, alleging workplace misconduct and unsafe conditions. During her time away from wrestling, she appeared in a number of independent films and television projects, including the 2001 comedy Corky Romano. Sable returned to WWE in 2003, shortly after WrestleMania 19. After a brief rivalry with rising star Tori Wilson, Sable was placed in an on-screen storyline involving Vince McMahon, designed to provoke Stephanie McMahon. This storyline led to several confrontations, including a no-count-out match at Vengeance 2003, where Sable picked up the win. Later, the feud escalated into a match between Stephanie and Vince McMahon at No Mercy 2003, ending with a dramatic moment where Linda McMahon intervened to stop the contest. While Sable was not directly involved in that match, the storyline received mixed reactions and is often viewed as having limited impact. On the careers of those involved, Sable might have laid the foundation for the WWE Divas division, but Tori Wilson helped refine it. Much like Sable, Wilson wasn't primarily known for her in-ring wrestling ability. And unlike her predecessor, she never won any championships. However, she arguably received more exposure during her time with the company. Upon Sable's return to WWE, she and Wilson quickly became rivals, as Wilson had taken over the spotlight Sable once held. Both women also posed for mainstream publications, and this overlap became a central theme in their on-screen rivalry. Their first major confrontation took place during a bikini contest at Judgment Day 2003, where Wilson surprised many by emerging victorious. Sable later became involved in a storyline with the McMahons, but eventually found common ground with Wilson. The two teamed up in the ring and even participated in a joint magazine photo shoot. Sable and Wilson had their most high-profile tag team match at WrestleMania 20, where they faced Stacy Keibler and Miss Jackie Gata. The former rivals reignited their competitive feud afterward, culminating in a match at the Great American Bash 2004. That contest marked Sable's final WWE appearance, as she lost to Wilson on an episode of SmackDown, following the pay-per-view. Although she could have continued in WWE, Sable left the company in 2004, around the time her future husband, Brock Lesnar, also departed. The two later married in 2006 and have 2 children together. Their relationship began under controversial circumstances, as they became involved while Sable was still married to Marc Mero. Mero has since recounted the story with a sense of humor and noted that he eventually accepted the situation once he learned who Sable's new partner was. Sable and Lesnar's relationship has been described as intense at times. According to Lesnar's autobiography, Death Clutch, My Story of Determination, Domination, and Survival, he went to great lengths to win her over, including a dramatic visit to her home. While she hasn't returned to in-ring competition, Sable did support Lesnar during his appearances in NJPW and UFC. Given Lesnar's current uncertain status with WWE, it's unlikely that Sable will make any return appearances either. Despite criticisms of the WWE Divas division today, it's fair to say that Sable played a significant role in its early development and visibility. The 1990s were a landmark era for professional wrestling, filled with sellout crowds and iconic characters across promotions like World Championship Wrestling, CW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, and the World Wrestling Federation, WWF. The competition between WCW and WWF for Monday night ratings led to a shift toward a more provocative and edgy product, known as the Attitude Era. This era helped launch the careers of superstars such as The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and many more. While some of these wrestling legends are still active today, others have transitioned to behind-the-scenes roles or entirely new careers. Rick Steiner, best known for teaming with his brother Scott as the Steiner Brothers, was one of the most decorated tag team wrestlers of the 1990s. Together, they won titles in WCW, ECW, and NJPW. Though Rick Steiner made a recent appearance on NXT 2.0 to support a storyline involving his son, Braun Breaker, he is no longer an active competitor. In 1995, he obtained a real estate license and has been active in the property business ever since. Additionally, he serves on the Cherokee County School District Board of Education, contributing to his community for over a decade. The Attitude Era featured many colorful characters, one of whom was Val Venis. Known for his flamboyant entrances and over-the-top personality, Val Venis was a standout during the late 1990s. His character was reflective of the edgy tone of the time. However, as WWE transitioned into a more family-friendly direction, characters like Val Venis became less prominent and were gradually phased out.